Alright guys, it's time to expose a wealthy socialist and left-wing bias when it comes to Twitter. Now, some people are going to be like, is he really going to do this? Yeah, I'm going to do this. Yeah, let's do this. So, I'm going to stick up for the New York Post. Funny as it may seem, I think it's at the end of the day, it's important to congratulate them when they do something right and vilify them when they do something wrong, and they've done something right in this point. Well, at least the journalist did anyway. YouTube socialist Carlos Maza slammed the wealthy by lived in luxury. Sorry. So some of you may be familiar with Carlos Maza. You might be familiar with that name. You might wonder, well, I've heard that name before. Where have I heard it? This is the guy that literally went through and tried to get Steven Crowder deplatformed and demonetized off YouTube. Who then went and became a YouTuber while complaining about YouTube policies. He's a very complicated individual, isn't he? But anyway, so yeah, went through. Carlos Maza made a tweet back in February complaining about people who live in luxury while lecturing others on how to spend money and blah blah blah. Now his initial aim was at a Republican, which doesn't really make sense anyway, because at the end of the day, Carlos, the guy that he was taking his shots at, Republicans don't have a problem with people making money. Republicans have a problem with big government, stuff like that. If you're a Republican and you're living in a multi-million-dollar estate, good for you. You're allowed to. But at the end of the day, you're not a socialist. You're not pushing these social platforms. That's where Carlos Maza becomes unstuck. But before we get into it, let's jump into the story. So, Carlos Maza doesn't like rich people. The social media socialist with more than 150,000 followers on Twitter and YouTube combined regularly uses his platform to rally against the wealthy and powerful and urges fans to be skeptical of their opinions. Maybe someone should buy him a mirror. Just found out James Carville, who spends his time lecturing Democrats for being too far left, and I'm presuming James Carville is Republican in this situation, lives in an absolute obscene 4-story mansion, Maza said. In one such example from February, blasting longtime Democrat strategist and posting a photo of Carville's old home to his Twitter account. Okay, so he's not even a Republican, he's a Democrat. He's blasting other Democrats. Dear God, can we stop taking political advice from the ultra-wealthy, he moaned. You really have to respect this guy's grift, constantly dressing in normal clothes on TV to foreign relatability when living like this masterful con artist. We should treat gay people the same way we treat straight people, eating them when they get too rich, he said in another post. Well, that's interesting. How about your parents' wealth? Like any good online socialist, Maza raises money for his internet presence through a Patreon account, where comrades, and that's literally the term he uses, a word he describes his supporters, can fund him in increments of $2, $5, and $10 a month. Now here's the interesting thing. I have a Patreon account. Most of you don't know that because I don't plug it. And even on my Patreon, it's like $1. It's like $1 to like support blah, 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 right? None of you probably know that because I don't plug it. Now here he is, a communist, a socialist, who I presume plugs it all the time. You tell me who's the biggest parasite, but anyway. But if Maza wants to start eating the rich, maybe he'll have to begin with his own family. So, through his clan, the Millennial Firebrand is connected to multiple Florida mega mansions. A $7.1 million pad on the Upper West Side purchased under a LLC, and a yacht by luxury boat maker Discontent. Might be mispronouncing. Maza's mother, Vivian Mays, was one of the first employees at the Ultimate Software, a Florida-based behemoth that now employs more than 5,000 people. Starting in 1990 as an office manager, she ultimately rose to become the group's chief people officer in 2004. In addition to her job, Vivian Mays also developed a very close personal relationship with company founder Scott Scherer, might be mispronouncing. So quotes that independent assessments of the company in 2016 cited the relationship as corporate grievances concerned. Governance concerned. Sorry, I don't know what that means. The report said the pair were believed to be more than just co-workers and have a familiar relationship. The two later became engaged, and the couple has lived together for years, with Scofa being a de facto to stepfather Carlos. Public records... Oops, I clicked that by accident. Can we go back? Public records show Vivian... Stop that. Alright, public records show Vivian, Scott, Carlos, and sister Isabel all registered to vote at the 5-bedroom, 8-bathroom waterfront place in Bella Luna in Florida. The property sold in 2018 for $10.8 million, according to website Zillow. Schaefer also unloaded a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom house in Westington, Florida, for $1.85 million in 2015. Vivian currently resides full-time in a $4.4 million 2-bedroom, 3-bathroom luxury condo in Fort Lauderdale, where she lists as her primary residence, according to 2020 reports filed by the LCH 23. The same LLC purchased a $7.125 million condo on the Upper West Side of Manhattan in November 2017. While serving as CEO of Ultimate Software, Scheer was one of the most handsomely compensated CEOs in the country. In 2015, he took home $38.3 million, and CBS News reported in 2008, Schaefer took stocks and options in Ultimate were valued at $17.8 million, with shares at the time selling for about $35. In 2019, the company sold for $11 billion, with stocks going for $331.50, almost certainly making Schaefer and his family 9-figure millionaires, if not billionaires. Oh boy! This is kind of very interesting, isn't it, Maza? Do you want to talk about your family's wealth? It's not clear how much Vivian and Scherer actively support Maza's lifestyle, but evidence suggests the family has been happy to pitch in to help spread his socialist message. Both Scheer and Vivian Maza are listed as comrades at the end of Carlos's most recent YouTube video, and the younger Maza himself admitted in an interview with Mel magazine that his family was there to financially back him if needed it. Vivian and Scott have also pitched in on the rent for Carlos's Chick East Villa pad just across from Thompson Square Parks. Friends telling the Post rent for the 1-bedrooms like Carlos's cost upwards to $3,000 a month. I think a lot of these people are unhappy. I'm sure this guy's just craving some attention, Carville told the Post. I don't have $1 billion, but whatever I have, my daddy didn't give me. He inherited like $11,000. Maza did not respond to multiple inquiries from the Post about a statement in response to Twitter in advance of publication, blah, 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 blah. The Fluxless fussed up to the silver spoons. My mum and her finances are very wealthy thanks to a software company they started together when I was a kid. They started together? That's interesting. As a result, I've got to live a life of tremendous privilege, he said. Maza acknowledged that he's always had a safety net. should his career as a YouTube star go south, but insists that nobody is bankrolling his efforts and that his mother only donates $10 a month. Aww, $10 a month from mummy. And then what's his daddy giving him? Look, at the end of the day, now the reason why we're talking about this is because the New York Post journalist who exposed Maza for this was censored on Twitter. So the New York Post journalist John Levine, who was locked out of his Twitter account earlier today and forced to delete several tweets in connection to his article exposing the ultra-worth background of socialist YouTuber Carlos Maza, Twitter first locked Levine out of his account Monday. I don't agree with that title, by the way, but we'll keep going. But after inquiries from the journalist had followers, the platform restored access to his account, claiming that the lockout had been in error and that his tweet about Maza did not violate the platform's policies. However, later in the day, Twitter changed its mind again, telling Levine that upon further investigation, these tweets violate our Twitter rules, specifically a private information policy. Levine had tweeted pictures from his recent article, YouTube socialist Carlos Maza slams the wealthy but lives in luxury, showing pictures of a $10 million mansion in Florida owned by Maza's family. The pictures are public viewable on real estate website where Levine obtained them. Levine's tweets are archived and can be viewed here. And there's a link. We'll put that link in the description. They reveal information about the mega wealthy background of the socialist Maza. Twitter claimed that Levine posted publicly available images of Maza was a violation of its private information policy. Yet Maza has done the same. Last month he called out the establishment Democrat John Cover for living in an obscene aforementioned posting image of the recent to prove it. So Carl Maza can post the images, but John Levine can't. Makes you wonder if Carl Maza's connections to tech companies has it somewhat protected him, right? Makes you wonder if his daddy, for example, who started off this multi-million-dollar tech company, or billion-dollar company, I should say, that employs 5,000 people, might have made a few calls to say, hey, Jack, you know, my son really, he doesn't like this tweet that was put up. Maybe we could take it down? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Maza did not tell his family, followers about his family as $10 million Florida abode, where he's registered to vote. If Maza wants to start eating the rich, they may have to begin with his own family, wrote Levine in his New York Post article. Though through his clan, the Millennial Firebrand is connected to the multiple Florida mega mansion, a $7.1 million pad on the Upper West Side purchased under an LLC, and a luxury yacht by... Yeah, okay, so I've talked about that. So at the end of the day, what they did was they went through and they locked him out of his account, the New York Post journalist out of his account, for exposing Maza for posting images of Maza's family's home private estate when Maza did the exact same thing. Then obviously later, the New York Post reporter deletes the tweets that expose the socialist because they went through and then claimed after it was an error that, well, hang on, no, after further investigations, you know, blah, 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 blah. To me, this seems like they're trying to appease someone. Like, at the end of the day, if you go and investigate, if you're going to look into someone's account and he has these posts up and you rule that it's not violation of it and then later change your mind, to me, that seems like you're appeasing someone. And this is where, like, for example, New York, like Twitter, for example, it has a left-wing bias. Now, why wasn't Maza's account locked out when he did this? When he went through and opposed this Democrat guy? Why was his account not blocked out like, for example, James Levy's? I think it was James Levy's. Why wasn't the New York Reporter's account? If it's one rule for me and not for thee, if there's no, you know, like, hey, my daddy's rich, so I get to do whatever I want, like the Democrats keep claiming that we're all equal, blah, 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 blah. Why is it that the New York Post journalist can have his account locked, but Maza can have his account not locked for doing the same thing? They all should be treated equally. They all should be treated the same. And at the end of the day, I think the New York Post has just realised this, that, you know, hey, you might be on top of the conservatives when it comes to the totem pole, but there's other people on top of you. And to be honest, I'm over Twitter being biased like this. This isn't even a left versus right thing. This is not a Democrat versus conservative thing. This is just a fact that it was a Democrat who tried to expose a communist socialist for being a hypocrite, and Twitter decided to basically lock his account, forcing him to delete the image or delete the tweet. But, you know, hey, that's why we have archive, right? Look, at the end of the day, and also by going through and locking the account and making this huge problem, it's literally the Barbara Streisand effect, right? Now people are talking about it because of the bias when it comes to Twitter. Tim Pool has talked about it. I'm talking about it. No doubt Sargon and Ben Shapiro and all these sort of guys are going to be talking about it. So at the end of the day, it's the Barbara Streisand effect. If you don't want someone to know something, try and hide it, because the internet loves exposing that sort of stuff. And to me, this is a lot of stuff. It's a lot of hogwash. I don't think that if you want to remove the tweet from the New York Post journalist, fine. But you should also be removing the post from Maza. If you want to lock this guy's account, Maza should have his account locked too. One rule for everybody, right? That's what it should be. Because let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please smack that like button. This will be the last video for the day. Back tomorrow with more videos. Hopefully not 3. I don't know. But yeah, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section. If this video has been helpful, please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, guys, we'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great night, and I'll see you guys soon.